Welcome to Everything You Need to Know to Successfully Rig and Fish a Texas Rig. I'm Andrew with Duran Adventures. Let's jump in. The Texas Rig, probably the most popular way to rig and fish soft plastic baits. The basic rigging method consists of a bullet weight and around a 4/0 sized extra wide gap hook. To rig it, first slide your weight onto your line, then tie on your hook. I'm using a Yum Dinger Senko bait for my example, but this method applies for all soft plastics. Next, slide about 1/4 inch of your worm onto the hook. Pull the hook through until the eye is at the worm's head. Rotate the hook so the point is facing the worm. Insert the hook point back into the body of the worm. A trick here is to visually mark where the hook will need to enter the worm's body to ensure the worm will sit straight. You can also tuck the tip of your hook just barely into the body of the worm to make it more weedless. How to fish the Texas Rig. Texas rig fishing usually involves methodically working your bait on or near bottom through and around cover. Mix up dragging, hopping, and pausing the bait to entice bites. Pros of the Texas rig bait include weedless presentation. It's a great option for working heavy cover like weeds, grass, and wood. Versatile, works for shallow and deep water. You may need to upsize the weight for deeper water if your fall rate is too slow. It also works with different retrieves like slow drags, hopping, and twitching. Mix it up until you find a winning pattern. Natural action. Lightly weighted Texas rig worms have a subtle natural accent. Cons of a Texas rig bait include less hook exposure. Braid hooks can reduce hookup ratio. This can require forceful hook sets. Slow sink rate. If you get too deep, say 20 feet or deeper, you may need a weight so heavy to get to bottom that it hinders the bait action. Other setups may work better for deeper water. It's not especially fast. Texas rig bait fishing is usually relatively slow and methodical. It's not a power fishing method where you're blasting down a bank looking for fish. Popular variations. Weightless. This is great for shallower water. Removing the weight sacrifices your ability to get to bottom in return for improved bait presentation. The next variation is some people add a bead to both protect the knot and add a little noise and visual interest to the setup. The bead is completely optional. The next variation is a heavy punching rig. You can put on a heavy weight and peg it with a bobber stop to make a punch rig for punching through heavy matted vegetation. And the other variations are you can use all kinds of different soft plastic baits. Anything from worms, craws, creature baits, flukes, lizards, swim baits, and grubs, although I'd say the worm is kind of the gold standard for Texas rig baits. Recommended gear for Texas rig baits. Most people fish Texas rig baits with bait casting rods and reels. Bait casting setups offer the most control and precision to accurately cast, plus flip and pitch as necessary. In my opinion, the key factor for picking a Texas rig fishing setup is getting the right rod power in action. A medium heavy power rod with fast action that's around 7 feet long is considered the gold standard for Texas rig fishing. The strong backbone of this allows for a forceful hook set that is required for these single hook weedless setups like the Texas rig. For fishing relatively open water, you can get away with lighter lines around 12 or 15 pound test. For fishing heavier cover, some folks may even go with 50-pound braid or higher to enable the angler to pull a big fish out of heavy vegetation. In conclusion, Texas rig and a soft plastic bait is a tried and true fishing technique that's probably caught more fish than every other method combined. Get out there and give it a shot.